Hi, and welcome to this session on must-do sets for CAT LRDI preparation. Whether you are just starting out or revising for the upcoming CAT examination, these are sets which you should not be missing on your way. In this session, we'll be looking at the second part of our calculations. This is on graphs. In the previous one, we had looked at tables and how to get a case-based question into a tabular sort of a situation. In this case, you will be given single graphs or multiple graphs. So graphs like line charts, pie charts, scatter plots, all those type of graphs will be covered in this particular session. There might be multiple graphs also available. So you might have to combine those data resources. Now, irrespective of whether it's a linear format or a tabular format, the basic concepts of solving these problems remain the same. You will be extensively using arithmetic concepts like percentages, ratios, averages, some properties of natural numbers, etc. You might have to end up creating a table out of what is given to you in the graphical format, and you will most likely be required to calculate some values, an additional column or an additional row, or fill up a missing value in one of the given rows or in the missing graph in this case. Let's get on with this session. If you are running short of time, obviously you can skip to the relevant sets. Each of the videos which we'll be releasing will have links available in the description where if you click on it, you can skip to the relevant set. So let's see what this says. The data seems pretty scary. How difficult the question is, let's see. In Goa, there are 12 tehsils: Bardez, Bicholi, Kankon, Dharbandora, Marmagaon, Perne, Ponda, Kepe, Salsett, Sangye, Satari, and Tiswadi. Right. So if you are interested in Goa as such, if you have any idea, so Kalangut, Baga, etc. are in the Bardez tehsil. And your Goa Institute of Management is basically in the Sattari Taluka. Your Panjim is in the Tiswadi Tehsil, and your Margao, Kolva, etc. are in your Salsett areas. Okay, so if you're going down south, Palolem, etc. are in the Kankona Tehsil nearby that. Okay, so that's like a crash course in Goa's geography. Let's continue. The following scatter plot provides the total number of people who have installed one of the two food delivery apps, Tomato and Piggy, in each of the 12 tehsils. So we have two apps. So if I were to look at this data, Dharbandora has 22,000 Piggy downloads and 5,000 Tomato downloads. Okay. Similarly, Kepe has 9,000 each, 9,000 of Tomato and 9,000 of Tomato and 9,000 of Piggy. Right. So similarly, Kankon you can find out and all those things. Okay. Now, what does the line graph tell you? The line graph tells you the number of app installs per capita for each of the tehsils. So, if I were to add these two apps, so for example, let's calculate for Dharbandora. Dharbandora, it's 22 plus 5, 27. That will be the total number of app downloads, 27,000. Divided by the population of Dharbandora, that will be your per capita app download. So now people might install both the apps, some people may not have installed any of the apps. It's like your per capita, number of vehicles. Some people might have more than one vehicle, some people have less than one vehicle. Similarly, per capita number of mobile phones. Some people have more than one mobile phone, some people may not have any mobile phone, but you take an average. So total app installs divided by the number of people. That for Dharbandora is 45%. Right. So I can find the population of Dharbandora, 27,000 divided by 45%. I mean, I will not do this, but just to tell you that this is the case. So this is 3 out of 5 into 100. Right. So Dharbandora will be 60,000 will be the population of Dharbandora. Right. So I can calculate the population of each of the tehsils. Right. Now, before I jump into all those calculations, let's see what I need to look at. Okay. So the question asks which of the tehsil has the second highest population. right? So we need to rank on the basis of population. So we have to do this calculation. Right. Second is, what is the combined population of tehsils where the number of tomato app installed is greater than the number of piggy app installed. So I need to check where tomato is, which means this x-axis is more than the y-axis. And then for those, calculate the population, which again, if you work the first question neatly, the second question can be done pretty easily. Question number 3. In each tehsil, if each person can install at most one of the 2 apps. Okay. Now this has some amount of set theory involved, right? And similarly, this also has some amount of set theory involved. So first 2 questions can be solved pretty quickly, but the remaining 2 will take some extra work. So at least let us write down the first 2 points nicely. So I've transferred all the data into a table, right? This will take you about minute and a half. I mean, I don't want to show how paint is drying. So, okay. So now, if I were to follow the same process as we did to find the Dharbandora population, right? So I need to find out the total number of installs. Then from that I will take the population, right? And then I have to find the rank, right? I have to find the rank of the place. Okay, so total is 40 here. Population is 32% is your installation. So 40 divided by 32 into 100. So 40 by 32 is 5 by 4. 5 by 4 into this will be 125,000. So 125,000 is your population. Bicholi, this is 45. 45 divided by 60, that's 3 by 4. So 75,000. Okay, 19 plus 13 is 32. 32 divided by 40, 80%. So 80,000. This is 27. 27 divided by 45, 3 by 5, so 60. 28, 28 by 35 is 4 by 5, so 80. Okay. Perne, this is 21. 21 by 42 is 50. Fonda, this is 32 divided by 32, 100. Okay, this is 18. 18 divided by 24, 75. 42. 42 divided by 40 divided by 32 is 5 by 4, so 125. Sangye, this is 24. 24 by 30, 4 by 5, so 80. This is 39. 39 by 60 is 13 by 20, so 65%. And this is 56. 56 by 35 is 8 by 5, so 160. Okay, now I have to rank these. Okay, so Tiswadi will be first, but I need the second one. Now there's an option of Bardes and Salset both also. So let's check if they have the same population. So 125 and 125, both of them have the second highest, right? So both of them will be ranked 2. Both of them will be ranked 2, right? And even this, so there'll be no third ranked one. So third one will be, so fourth rank will be Fonda. Right. I mean, we can answer option D, but let's just do this for academic purposes. We might find it useful. Fourth, and then you'll have there again 280. So both of them will be fifth. There'll be no sixth position. Right. In fact, there are 380s. So there'll be no sixth position as such. There's no sixth and seventh positions. Right. So then you have, this will be eighth. There are 2 people with at 8th position, so there will be no 9th. Okay, 10th would be 65, 11th would be here, and 12th will be this. So I've ranked all of them also, right? Option D will be our correct choice. Question number 2. What is the combined population in thousands of the tehsils where the number of tomato app installs are greater than the number of piggy app installs? So I need to look at only the places where tomato is greater than piggy. So the first column is more than the second column, and only those populations I need to take. So Bardes, no. Bicholim, yes. So 75 I need to add. Kankon, no. Dharbandora, no. Murmagaon also no. I need it to be greater, right? Not equal. Perne, yes. Fonda, yes. Kepe, no. Equal. Salset, yes. Sangye, yes. Satari, no. Tiswadi, no. So I need to add these. So 125 plus 75 is 200. 200 plus 100, 300, 350, 430. Right? So if you write it down, pretty much done. Question number 3 says, if in each tehsil, each person can install at most one of the two apps, then how many tehsils will have the same rank when arranged in descending order in terms of the number of people in the tehsil without any of the two apps as compared to their rank when arranged in descending order in terms of the number of people in the tehsil? Okay. So what it says is that each person can install at most one of the two apps. So you'll have only two types of people. You'll actually have three types of people, but two numbers of apps. So there'll be some people who have no apps. There'll be some people who will have only tomato. There'll be some people who will have only piggy, right? Because if we were to look at a Venn diagram sort of thing, there is nobody who has both the apps. So your two sets are disjoint sets. So you have tomato, you have piggy, right? And then there are a third category, which is none, right? So the category of none will basically be the total population minus piggy minus tomato, right? So which we have already done. So we know number of people with no apps, right? So I'll have to find out the number of people with no apps, then rank that population and then check how many people's rank remain unchanged. So the extra work which I did in the first one just for fun, right, will now come in handy. Anyways, you either do it there or here. It's going to be one and the same. So let's do it. So this is 85. This will be 75 minus 45 is 30. This is 48. This will be 33. This will be 52. 29. This will be 68. This is 57. 85. 56. This is 26 and 104. Now I need to rank this. So first, again, there are two second places, 85 and 85. Third after 85 would be 68. No, there's no third position. This person will be fourth, right? Fifth will be after 68. This will be fifth. Sixth will be 56. Seventh will be 52. Eighth will be after 52. There'll be 48. Ninth will be after 48. You'll have a 33. 10th will be this guy. 11th will be here, and 12th will be Satari. Right. So this is roughly the case. All right. So let's quickly check what is the scenario. So you have this has the same position. Tiswadi has the same position. Salset has the same position. Bardes has the same position, and Fonda has the same position. Right. So there are 4 tehsils which have the same position. Okay. Now you will ask me, what about these 3? There are 3 5th rank places. Now 5th, 6th, 7th, they are all the same, but this guy is ranked 7th. He's not 5th. See, all 3 of them are 5th, right? Joint 5th. So there are 6 people ahead of him, whereas in this case there are only 4 people ahead of him. So the rank is not the same. Same with this case. Sangye, you will have 4 people ahead of him in the population rank, but now there are 5 people ahead of him in the no app download app ranking. So these two are not the same ranks. So we cannot say it can be 5th, 6th, 7th, so all of them are equal. No, that is not going to be the case, because if you interpret how the ranks work, these two ranks cannot be the same. Here there are 4 people ahead of him, here there are 5 people ahead of him. So they are not the same. And the last one, if in each tehsil the number of people installing one or more of these food apps is the minimum possible. Now, when is the population minimum possible in a Venn diagram? When the larger one is a subset of, is a superset of all the other populations. So here, the larger of the 2 apps will be a superset of the smaller one. So basically everyone who has a tomato also has a piggy. So the tomato will be inside the piggy population. In Bicholim, everyone with a piggy will also have a tomato. So for Bicholim, tomato will be the superset, piggy will be the subset. So essentially I need to figure out the larger of the 2. Okay, I'm looking at the larger of the 2. This will be the number of apps which are downloaded. These are the number of people with apps. Okay, now the question is, how many tehsils have more than 30% of their population, with at least one of the 2 food apps? Okay, so basically I need the larger number divided by the population. Okay, that's all I need to check to be able to see whether it's, and I need the number to be more than 30%. So this again should not need a calculator, because 10% is not very difficult to calculate and 30% is 3 times 10%. Okay, so let's quickly circle what I need to compare it with. 19, 22, I mean any of the 2 is good enough. Here it's 13, here it's 17, again any of the 2 is good enough. 27, 21, 21, this. So I need to compare this with 30% of the population. How to calculate 30%? 10% is 1/10, so 12.5. 12.5 into 3 will be 37.5. That should be lesser than this number, right? So, or this number should be more than 30% of that population. 30% of that, the 30% value which we calculated. Okay, so 10% is 12.5, 30% is 37.5. Higher? No. Out. 10%, 7.5, 30%, 22.5. Higher? Yes. 10%, 8, 30%, 24. Is 19 more than 24? No. 10%, 6, 30%, 18. Is 22 more than 18? Yes. 10%, 8, 30%, 24. Is 14 more than 24? No. 10%, 5, 30%, 15. Is 13 more than 15? No. 10%, 10, 30%, 30. Is 17 more than 30? No. 10%, 7.5, 30%, 22.5. Is 9 more than 22.5? No. 10%, 12.5, 30%, 37.5. Is 27 more than 37.5? No. Similarly, 8 3s are 24. No. 6.5 into 3 will be 19.5. 21 is more than 19.5. So yes. And finally, 160. 10% is 16. 30% will be 48. Is 35 more than 48? No. So you have more than 30% will be 1, 2, and 3. 3 of them, 3 of the tehsils satisfy this criteria. It's a very nastily painful question. It's not a difficult question, but each question gives you an additional thing to work with. The first and second question should definitely be tried, because if you do the first one, the second one automatically comes into play. But the third and fourth requires you a little bit of extra calculation. I mean, in an exam sort of a scenario, the first thing would be to make sure that you draw the table very patiently. Once you draw the table, life becomes much more easier. It's not a difficult question because of the concept involved. It is difficult because of the time it takes. It's a lengthy question rather than a difficult question. In an exam situation, between 10 to 12 minutes to solve. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the notifications button so that you are notified when we are releasing our next set of videos. Please do like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you want to connect with us, you can connect with us through WhatsApp and Telegram as well. All the relevant links are available in the description of this particular video. Large store has only 3 departments: clothing, produce, and electronics. Clothing, produce, and electronics. The following figure shows the percentage of revenues and cost of from the 3 departments: 2016, 17, and 18. So for each of the departments, you have the split of revenue as well as cost. So instead of drawing 6 pie charts, they have given you 2. This is like a triangle graph. You can call it a radar graph, whatever you want to call it. Right? This is what is given. So for example, in 2016, 50% of the revenues came from electronics, 40% of its costs came from the produce department, and so on. Right? Then you have all the other information given. Profit as a percentage of cost is calculated. Then you have information about different values, and all the questions are basically what is the percentage profit, ratios, percentage, approximate difference in the profit percentage. So everything is a ratios problem. You don't need any absolute number. You can assume any value for one of the years. You'll be able to solve every single value everywhere else. Okay, so let's dive in and solve them. Okay, so let's start with this cost as 100. Now, profit is based on cost. It says that the percentage profit in 2016 was 100%. So 100, this will be 200. Right, I can split all these values. Cost is 30%. Then again 30% for clothing and 40% for produce. That is done. Let's look at revenues. 50% is 100. Then you have 20%, so 40. Then you have 60. So you have 10, 20, 70 adding up to 100. So this is done. Okay. Second statement says the store's revenue doubled from 2016 to 2017. So this should be 400. From 200 it became 400. Cost doubled from 2016 to 2018. So this should be 200, 16 to 18. Right? I can split this up also. So for 2017, this is 30%, so 120. This is also 30%, so 120. 40%, 160 adds up to 400. This is split up. This is 30%, so 60. This is 20%, so 40. This is 50%, so 100. Right? So this is done. Okay. There was no profit from electronics in 2017. So there was 0 profit. So cost should be equal to this. Now I can find the total here. Total here will be 120 represents 40%. So this should be 300. So 30% should be 90. This should also be 90, 100. You actually don't need to fill this up. I'm just doing it for purposes. I mean, you can just leave it at 300 and then you can go. If you need to calculate, you can calculate for a particular question. Okay. In 2018, the revenue from clothing was same as cost of produce. So this is 100. So which means this is 60. So I can calculate the total. 100 clothing is 40%. Clothing is clothing in 2018, right? That's here. So this should also be 100. Sorry, this should be half of it. So 50. And this should be 100. Right, so total value becomes 250. This should be 50. This is 0, 100 minus 100. And here you make a loss of 10. Minus 10 plus 60 adds up to 50. Right? So we have every single value. I can answer all the questions that I want. Let's do that. What is the percentage profit of the store in 2018? This is 50 on 200. That's 25. What was the ratio of expenses generated from produce in 2017? Produce in 2017. Expense. Okay, revenue generated. That's 160 to 2018. 200. 160 is to 100. That's 8 is to 5. Option 2. Question number 3, the percentage of total profit in the store was from electronics department. So out of 100, 70 was from 70 was from electronics, so 70%. So I'll just write 70. And the last one, what is the approximate difference in profit percentage from 2017 and 2018? 2017, the profit percentage is 33.33%. 2018, the profit percentage is 25%. Difference is 8.3%. Option 2. Extremely straightforward question. It's more of a test of your eyesight. If you are, you have to just bend down and figure out exactly where the values are. Once you do that, if you know your ratios, this is a 5-minute problem to be solved. Definitely a must-do question that completes this one. A lot of students miss out on good B schools because they simply don't apply and they are ignorant. They don't do any research beyond the IIMs and they are more worried about their profile and academics, etc., rather than actually getting into good B schools and making a career in the management field. If you would like personalized B school assistance, all you need to do is fill up the Google document. Link is available in the description of this video, and we'll send you individual B school recommendations which fit your profile and your career aspirations. So this is a scatter plot, and the information says the data points in the figure below represent monthly income and expenditure of individual members of the Ahuja, the Bose, the Kumar and the Dubey family. So you have Ahuja, Bose, Kumar and Dubey. So Ahuja is the square, Bose is the diamond, Kumar is the inverted triangle and Dubey is the star. So if you check this, so there is one member in Ahuja whose income is roughly 3,700, 3,800. Expenses are about 400 or 500 rupees. Okay, so the second member is roughly about 3,000, 3,100. Expenses would be about 1,800, 1,700. And this is the third member, roughly 2,800, and expenses will be 2,700, 2,800. So expenses is on the x-axis, income is in the y-axis, and there is a nice line which is given, line indicating income is equal to expenses. So you know this member, Kumar family, spends more than what he earns, right? This Dubey family person, he spends almost as much as he earns. So all this information is there. If you want, we can tabulate this also. Let's go to the questions and see what is asked. Which family had the lowest average income? Which family had the highest average income? Which family had the lowest average savings? The highest amount of savings accrue to a member of which family? Okay, so one way is I can tabulate all the values, right? For example, Ahuja family, I don't know how many members are there. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 members. I can tabulate each of their incomes and expenses. Bose, you will have 1, 2, 3. 3, again, income expenses. Kumar, again, 3 members. And Dubey, there are 2 members. Okay, so you can tabulate each of them, find the average income, find the average expenditure, find the average savings. All those values can be figured out. But can we do this without actually calculating? Let's see if we can actually do this. Actually, you can do it if you observe the data carefully and you understand how this graph is represented. Let's try to do that. Now, let's try to do it question by question, and we'll approach it in one part and you can use it for all the other questions as well, and that is basically going to help you solve this. Question number 1 says, which family had the lowest average income? Now, the average income for any family will be between the highest and the lowest value, somewhere between the highest and the lowest value. Right, you know, either there are 3 items or 2 items. We don't have more than that. So we can roughly estimate. For example, Ahuja family's average income. This is the first member, this is the second member, this is the third member. So your average will be somewhere here for Ahuja. This will be the average income of Ahuja family. Now let's try for Bose. For Bose, it's a diamond, 1, 2, and 3. So roughly here. You can also verify it if you want to. Bose, this member is about 2,800. This member is about 2,400. This member is about 2,200. So 28 plus 22 plus 24. That's 74 divided by 3 is approximately 24, 25, right? Roughly here. Okay, Kumar. Kumar is here, here, and here. So roughly here, this is be Kumar. And Dubey, this and this. So midway in between. So this will be here, Dubey. Right, you know lowest has to be Kumar, option 3. You can verify it, but we can visually do this. Let's try to do the next one also. Next one says which one has the highest average expenditure. We need to do it with the y-axis. Okay, so for Ahuja, 1, 2, and 3. So roughly here, so this will be Ahuja. Okay, Bose is 1, 2, 3. Roughly here, Bose. This is pretty close. We might have to calculate it, but let's see if somebody else beats it. Kumar. Kumar is 1, 2, 3, definitely lower. And Dubey, this and this. So definitely somewhere here. So Dubey has to be higher. You can visually see it. Dubey has to be higher than both Ahuja, Bose, and Kumar. Option 4 will be our correct choice. Okay. Question number 3. Which one has the lowest average savings? Now, we have already done most of this. We don't even have to look at this. What will be the savings? Savings will be how income minus expenditure. So if your income minus, if your income, your savings is very high, you will be as far away as possible from this line, right? On the positive side, above this line is savings. Below this line is debt, right? We discussed this at the very beginning that this person from the Kumar family is actually spending more than he or she earns, right? And this person in Dubey family is spending roughly the same as what he or she earns. So if you were to average them out, right? If you observe the distance of Kumar family, right? On an average will be somewhere here. Kumar family will be somewhere here. Let's see what will be the average distance of the Ahuja family. This is one gap, this is one gap. So Ahuja family would be somewhere here, right? In terms of gap, right? Kumar family, 1, 2, and 3. So roughly somewhere here, this will be Kumar, right? And Bose will be 1, 2, and this is the third one. So average will be somewhere here. This will be for Bose, right? Obviously Dubey has the lowest average saving. You can verify it also. So the first one was the distance along the x-axis, y-axis. The second one was the distance along the x-axis. We plotted along the x-axis. And the third one is basically distance from this line, right? We are using this line to solve this. So 3 of them can be solved just visually. Let's look at the last one. The highest amount of savings accrued to a member of which family? Again, we have done this already. We know savings is the distance from this line, right? The 45-degree line. Who has the furthest distance will have the highest savings. This person will have the highest savings. You can verify it. His income will be about 3,700. His saving expenses will be only about 500. So roughly about 3,200. Nobody else even comes close to the income. Forget about the expenses. It does not even come close to the income, right? So this person has a very high income, but he's also spending quite a bit. So very clearly, this member, who this person belongs to, Ahuja family, option 1. So it's a brilliant question. The easier part is if you understand how averages work, if you can understand visual representation of graph, you actually don't need to calculate. Obviously, the other way is to tabulate every single value and calculate the average based on the number of people, etc. But if you understand how averages work, this question can be solved very, very quickly. It's a moderate level question. In an exam situation, probably take you 6 to 8 minutes. It's a must-do problem, especially if you want to understand how data is visualized, how it can be represented, what is the concept of averages, etc. If you get stuck anywhere with respect to preparing for LRDI, there are some free resources which are available on our YouTube channel. We have a playlist on how to prepare for LRDI. It includes which are the topics which you need to focus on, how much do you need to spend on each area. Also, we tell you how to go about picking sets in the examination. Right? So if you are not able to pick even a single set, this is a good framework to start with and build on for your CAT LRDI preparation. If you want any further assistance in terms of speaking with us, getting personal guidance, doing more practice, following a more structured path to LRDI preparation, please do look at our Ultimate LRDI course. 5 insurance salesmen: Pankaj, Rustam, Suresh, Tarun and Umesh, PRSTU. Right, work in the Margao branch of SCS Bombard. Okay, the earnings of each salesman has 2 components: a base salary and the commission, which varies as the number of policies sold. So you have a fixed price, right, a base salary plus commission. Right, the following scatter plot shows the base salary per policy sold. Okay, and the total commission earned for each salesman. And the pie chart shows the distribution of the number of policies sold by the 5 salesmen. Okay, and you have some additional information. And if you look at the questions, it says if the earnings are arranged in descending order, who will get the median earnings? Okay, this might be determinable, or maybe it cannot be determined sort of an answer. Then you have if he has a maximum, if the commission rate, if the difference. Okay, so you have additional data for all of them, and you have to figure out what is the values which are given to you. Now, let us quickly go through what is the data which is available to you. We'll transfer it onto a table and then work it out. Okay, so the scatter plot basically tells you 2 things, right? You have the base salary per policy and the total commission earned. Usually, it's the other way around, right? You have a fixed salary, right, or a base salary, whichever you want, plus commission per policy into number of policies. Right, here they have reversed it. What they have given you is base salary divided by number of policies, right? That is your x-axis, and commission per total commission is given. So commission into number of commission rate into the number of policies sold, right? Or commission per policy into the number of policies sold. That total amount is given. So the variable component is given as a total, and the fixed component is given as a per unit price, right? It's usually the other way around. You are given a fixed price and a variable component to it, or a fixed cost and a variable component to it. Whereas here, the fixed value is put up as a per unit price, and the variable component is put as a cumulative amount. Okay, so that is something which we need to work. The numbers should not be very difficult to figure out. This is 60 per base policy, and this is 10,000 rupees is the total commission earned. Here this is 60 and 28,000. Here this is 80 and 24,000. Here it is 90 and 20,000. Here it is 100 and 18,000. Right, so these are the values which are given to you. Now, couple of additional information. The commission rate need not be the same. Commission rate is commission per policy sold. So this variable component need not be the same for each person. And then you have earnings per policy will be total earnings divided by the total number of policies. So this total amount divided by number of policies sold will be equal to the earnings per policy. So that value we can calculate once we add it up. Okay, what does the pie chart tell you? Pie chart tell you the number of policies sold. So basically this is the ratio, right? Pankaj, Rustam, Suresh, Tarun, Umesh. So 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So if you divide it by 4, it will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the ratio is 3 is to 4 is to 5 is to 6 is to 7. Or you can say 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, 7x. Right. So we have understood what is given to us. Let's tabulate these values and then proceed further. So I have tabulated this here. Number of policies sold 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have figured out the base salary per policy, the x-axis for the scatter plot, and the total commission which is earned, right? Which was the y-axis over here. Now, what will be the total earnings? This will be the earnings, right? The earnings will be base policy sold into number of policies sold plus the total commission. So it will be 100 into 3x. So 300x plus 18,000. This will be 90 into 4. 360x plus 20,000. Similarly, this will be 60 into 5. So 300x plus 10,000. Right, this will be 80 into 6. 480x plus 24,000. And the last one will be 6 into 7. So 420x plus 28,000. So these are the total earnings. Right? Nothing much we can do about it except for go to the questions one by one and try to solve. Alright, so let's proceed. First one says, if the earnings of the 5 salesmen were arranged in descending order from highest to lowest, who will get the median earnings? So highest will be number 1, then number 2, then number 3, number 4, number 5. So the median will be the third person, right? You need to figure out who is the third person. Okay, so let's try to compare this over here. Now, we know we can compare these two straight away. 20,000 is more than 18,000 and 360,000 is more than 360x is more than 300x. So the fixed component is also higher and the commission is also higher earned, right? So we know definitely that Rustam has more than Pankaj. So Rustam is more than Pankaj. Now, if you compare Rustam and Suresh, again, the fixed price is higher, base price, the commission is also higher. So Rustam will be higher than Suresh also. Can we compare Suresh and Pankaj? If you compare Suresh and Pankaj, the base salary is the same, 300x, 300x. But the fixed, the commission is higher for Pankaj versus Suresh. So we know that Pankaj will earn more than Suresh. So we have already arranged these three. Okay. Now let's compare. Now Tarun versus Rustam. Tarun versus Rustam. Tarun has a higher amount and higher commission also. So Tarun will be more than Rustam. And if you look at Umesh versus Rustam, Umesh has higher base price and higher commission also. So Umesh will be also higher than Rustam. Can you compare Tarun and Umesh? If you compare Tarun and Umesh, one has a higher base salary, one has a higher commission, right? One has a higher base salary, one has a higher commission. So depending on the value of X, you will have different values for it. So for example, if I put X is equal to 1, Tarun will have 24 plus 480. 24 plus 480 will be 24, 480. And he will have 28 plus 420. So 28, 420. Right. So Umesh will have higher than Tarun. On the other hand, if I put X is equal to 100, right, he will have 48,000 plus 24,000. So that's 72,000. Whereas he will have 42,000 plus 28,000. That's only 70,000. So in that case, Tarun will have a higher amount than Umesh. So depending on what the value of X is, right, Tarun and Umesh will vary. Right, but we know for sure that Tarun and Umesh are the highest, two highest. Right, so 1 and 2 will be taken by Tarun and Umesh. The other three I have sorted. This will be Rustam, this will be Pankaj, this will be Suresh. What do we need to find out? Who is the third person? Median. Right, so Rustam, option A. So even though the topper may not be known, if we ever ask topper, it will be cannot be determined. But we only need the third person. Third, fourth, fifth is fixed. That's Rustam, Pankaj and Suresh. We need the third one. So Rustam. Second one, if Umesh had the maximum earnings, then what will be the maximum number of policies that can be sold by Suresh? Okay, Umesh had the maximum earnings. What can be the maximum policies? This can be sold by Suresh. Now, to increase the number of policies sold by Suresh, it will be 5x is the number of sold. So I need to increase the value of x. Right, that's my constraint. Right, I need to increase the value of x. Right, what is the other relationship which is given? Umesh is the highest. Now, from the previous discussion, we know between Tarun and Umesh, we need to figure out who earns higher. That we don't know. Others we know. It is here given that Umesh earns more than Tarun. So 420x plus 28,000 has to be more than 480x plus 24,000. If you rewrite this, this gives you 60x is less than 28 minus 24 will be 4,000. If you rewrite this, this will be 400 by 6 or 200 by 3 is greater than x. So x has to be less than or equal to 66.66. Now x, it's a number of policies sold, so it has to be a natural number. So x has to be less than or equal to 66. So the highest value possible of x is 66. Maximum number of policies which can be sold by Suresh is 5 times x. 5 into 66, 330. Right? Job done. Okay, question number 3. If the commission rate for one of the 5 salesmen was 200 rupees. Now, what is commission rate? Commission rate is commission per policy. So, total number of commissions divided by the number of policies sold. Right. So, the commission rate for Pankaj will be 18,000 divided by 3x. So, that will be 6,000 by x. Right. For Rustam, it will be 20,000 divided by 4x. So, 5,000 by x. Suresh, it will be 10,000 divided by 5x. 10,000 divided by 5x. Right. So, that will be 2,000 divided by x. Right. And Tarun, it will be 24,000 divided by 6x. So 4,000 by x. And for Umesh also it's 28,000 divided by 7. So 4,000 divided by x. Right. Now, what else is given? Right. It is given that one of these values is equal to 200. And you need to find out what can be the maximum number of policies sold by Umesh. So I need to maximize 7x. Now if I have to maximize 7x, I need to maximize the value of x. That is the only variable available. Right. Now, in order to maximize the value of this, right, one of these values has to be equal to 200. Now, where should I put 200? 200. Right. Where should I put 200 so as to get the maximum value of x? Now, a divided by a variable is a constant. Right. Now, to increase the value of the variable, I need to increase the value of a. Right. For example, if I say some number divided by x equals 20. Right. Now, if I were to increase the value of x, I need to increase the value of the numerator. So, for example, if I put 100 here, x will become 5. If I put 1000 here, x will become 50. Right. So, as the value of numerator increases, value of denominator decreases. Right. You can switch on the value also and check. So, a divided by constant equals a variable value. Right. This numerator can increase. Variable will also increase because this is a constant. Denominator remains constant. Right. So, we know for sure to increase the value of the variable denominator, I need to increase the value of numerator also. So I need to check the highest numerator. Highest numerator is 6,000. Right. So make this equals 200. So 6,000 by x equals 200. So x should be 6,000 by 200, which is equal to 30. 7 times x will be equal to 210. That's my answer. All right. And the last one, if the difference between the earnings per policy for Pankaj and Rustam is 35 per policy, what will be the earnings for Tarun? Okay, now difference will be higher divided by lower, but for earnings per policy. I know Pankaj overall earns lesser than Rustam. We have figured this out in the first question itself. But here it's not earnings, it's earnings per policy. Now let's check what will be earnings per policy. It will be total earnings divided by number of policies sold. Right. So for earnings per policy for Pankaj will be 300x divided by 3x. That's 100 plus 18,000 divided by 3x. 18,000 divided by 3x will be 6,000 by x. What will it be for Rustam? 360x divided by 4x. So that's 90 plus 20,000 divided by 4. So 5,000 by x. Now on the earnings per policy, we can be 100% sure that Pankaj earns more than Rustam. Now, x is a positive number, right? 100 is more than 90 and 6,000 by x will definitely be more than 5,000 by x. So we know Pankaj earns more than Rustam. So it will be difference will be Pankaj's earning minus Rustam's earning. So 100 plus 6,000 by x minus 90 plus 5,000 by x. This value is equal to 35. Okay. So what do you need to find out? What will be the total earnings for Rustam? So plug x in here. Plug the value of x in here. Calculate x. Plug the value of x in here. Let's try this. 100 minus 90 will be 10. 6,000 minus 5,000 is 1,000 by x should be equal to 35. If I rewrite this, you will get 1,000 by x should be equal to 25 or x should be equal to 40. X should be equal to 40. Now plug the value of x here. 420 into 40 plus 28,000. Right. 420 into 42 into 4 will be 8. 4 for the 16. 16800 plus 28,000. That gives you 844. 44,800 will be your correct choice. So this is a wonderful question. Okay, initially it scares you really badly by the way it presents the data. Once you get over the data, right, and get over to this stage where you have actually tabulated it, then each of the individual questions make you work even more. Right. So first question did not resolve the tie between the first and the second, but you had to find out the third. Second question had to use the first one. Third question required you another optimization, and the last one required to first figure out who earns the higher and then calculate the values. It's not an easy question. It will be a difficult question in an exam situation, 12 to 14 minutes for you to solve. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the notifications button so that you are notified when we are releasing our next set of videos. Please do like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you want to connect with us, you can connect with us through WhatsApp and Telegram as well. All the relevant links are available in the description of this particular video. The following scatter plot shows the number of orders placed in June on two leading e-commerce websites, Nile and Flopkart. So they've changed Amazon and Flipkart to Nile and Flopkart across the top 7 cities by orders. Okay, these are the top 7 cities. So that is another thing which we need to be careful if we might need it. These are the top 7 cities by orders, right? So you have Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune. You have the y-axis is Flopkart, x-axis is Nile. We can read it up. Pune 6,000 for Nile and 4,000 for Flopkart. Okay. Note that the number of orders placed in June in any of these 7 cities across the 2 websites is an integral multiple of 500. So it has to be a multiple of 500, right? So for example, this, I don't need to worry whether it's 5,100 or 5,200 or 4,900, it is 5,000, right? Chennai has to be 5,000 in Flopkart and 12,000 for Nile. Similarly, Hyderabad has to be 9,000 for Hyderabad and 6,500 for Flopkart. Right, Kolkata will be 7,500 for Nile and 7,000 for Flopkart. So you can actually tabulate these values reasonably easy. It should not be very difficult. Let's see what the bar graph shows you. The bar graph shows you the change in the number of orders placed in June over the number of orders placed in May on these 2 sites. Okay, so you have May to June, that change is given to you. Right, so for example, Mumbai dropped by 16.67% or dropped by 1/6, right, over June. This is for Nile. So Nile in June is, Mumbai is 10,000. Right, that represents a 16.67% drop. So this is 5/6 of the May value. 5/6 of the May value, so May value should be 12,000. Right. So similarly, we can use fractions and calculate the change pretty straight away. I mean, it's not very difficult to calculate that. You first need to tabulate it, and then you need to calculate as is required. And if you look at the questions, each of them gives you some additional data. The main orders in these cities represent 70% of the orders, and then further you have 20% rise, additional information. If there is some additional calculation to be done. If additional information, any order which is above 1,000, there is no mention of order value over here. Additional information which is given to you. So each of the questions will require you to solve additional question, use additional information and try to solve it. Right. So the first thing is to tabulate this. Right. So I've tabulated this value. This will take you about half a minute to 1 minute from that position. I've just written down what is given in the graph. Right, so roughly about 45 seconds to a minute to write this down. Right, then we can actually go ahead and calculate each of these values. Now, before we do that, if you are running short of time, suppose this is the very last set that you're attempting, you can actually do a couple of questions from here, even without solving the entire one. If you read through the questions, question number 3 says, if the order in June represents 40% of the orders placed from all over India, what can be the minimum number of cities serviced across India, including these 7 cities? So this does not require you to calculate May values at all, right, which is missing. Question number 4, again, this does not require you to calculate all the May values. This is only May Kolkata, right? So you can probably get away with just solving these 2 as the first 2, and then you can look at the other 2. For that, you will have to calculate the rest of the table as well. Right. So in case you're trying to look at for a cheeky method of trying to solve, we can solve these 2 first, and then we can go ahead and solve 1 and 2. Right. So we'll solve these 2 first and see what comes out of it. Question number 3. If the orders in June on Nile represent 40% of the orders received by Nile from all over India, then what can be the minimum number of cities serviced by Nile across India, including these 7 cities? Now, let's check this, right? 70,000 is the total orders for Nile in June, right? From the top 7 cities, Now, this represents 40% of all India, right? This is 70,000. So, which means all India is 70,000 by 40%, right? So, all India should be divided by 2 multiplied by 5, right? 40% is 2 by 5. So if you divide by 40%, it will be dividing by 2 and multiplying by 5. Half of 70 is 35. 35 into 5 is 175,000. Right. So all India numbers are 1,75,000. So these many orders were received by Flopkart, by Nile in June all across India. Out of which 70,000 are from the top 7 cities. Which are what will be from the rest of the cities? Rest will be 1,75,000 minus 70. So that's 105,000 or 1,05,000. Right. Now I need to put them in as few cities as possible, right? Right. These orders should come from as little cities as possible. You know, there are at least 7 cities which are serviced by Nile, right? Plus some additional cities, right? I need to minimize this value in order to minimize the total number of cities serviced by Nile across India, right? Right. I need to minimize this value. How will I minimize this value? So, for example, if 1,000 orders come from one city on an average, right? You will have 105 more cities. Right. If 2000 orders come from each city, you will have 55 and 52 and a half more cities. Right. It will be 53 more cities. Right. So if I increase the denominator, what will be the denominator? Average number of orders per city. If I increase the denominator, right, that number, the number of cities will drop. Right. So I need to increase this denominator to as high as possible. Now, what can be the highest denominator? You cannot take any denominator to be the highest. If you go back to the original one again, right, it says these are the top 7 cities by orders, right, which means that the rest of the cities cannot exceed the lowest of these cities, right? The lowest of these cities is 6,000, which was Pune, right? The best the other can do is basically 6,000 for all of the others, right? So I can put 6,000. They can at best equal it. Even if you put 59999, it will not change the number that much. This will be basically 35 by 2, which is 17 and a half. Now you cannot have half a city, so you'll have 18 more cities, right? 17 plus 8. Overall, there will be at least 25 cities which were serviced by Nile using these orders, right? All right, question number 4. Any order above 1,000 rupees is called a high ticket order. If the number of high ticket orders placed in Kolkata in May on Nile and Flopkart are in the ratio 5:8, then the number of orders placed in Kolkata in May on Nile and Flopkart that are not high ticket orders are in the ratio what? Okay, so if you take May, Kolkata, right? So we have Nile and Flopkart. We can figure out Nile and Kolkata, right? Kolkata increased by 20% from May over June, right? 20% is 1/5, right? Which means the May numbers will be, June numbers will be 6 by 5 of May numbers, which means the May numbers will be 5 by 6 of 7,500, 1/6 of 7,500, 1/3 is 2,500, half of that is 1,250. So drop 1,250. So that will be 6,250. Nile will be 6,250. Now let's see what happens for May for Flopkart. Flopkart dropped by 30% in June over May. So June represents 70% of May numbers. 70% of May will be 7,000. So full number will be 10,000, right? So this will be 10,000, right? So this is the total number of orders which are given to you. These are the total number of orders which are given to you. It is given that there are some things called high ticket orders. High ticket orders. What are those values? They are in the ratio 5:8. They are in the ratio 5:8, right? So non-high ticket will be 6,500 minus this value. So suppose this is X. This is 6,250 minus X. And suppose this is Y. This will be 10,000 minus Y. You need to find the ratio of non-high tickets for Kolkata, which is the ratio of 6,250 minus X and 10,000 minus Y. Now, can you find that out? It is given to you that X is to Y is 5:8. It is given to you X is to Y is 5:8. Now, if in an ideal scenario, we should not be able to find this out, right? Because we don't know how much is X and Y. Depending on what the value of X and Y are, right? Or if depending on the value of X, Y will change. This ratio will keep on changing, right? But if you observe carefully, there's only one special case. There's only one special case where you can actually find it, right? Which is if the original ratio is also 5:8. And if you observe, that is actually the case. The original ratio is actually 5:8, right? If you divide this If you divide by 25, right, this is 25, this is 40. If you divide by 5 again, this will be 5, this will be 8. So the ratio is 5:8. So the original ratio itself is 5:8. From that, you're taking out a value which is in the ratio 5:8, which means the final value will still remain at 5:8. Right, irrespective of how much you take it, it's going to be 5:8. You can verify it. So suppose you have your original values as 6250 and 10,000. Right, I remove something which is in the ratio 5:8. So let's have 5,000 and 8,000. Right, the balance will be 1250. The balance will be 2,000. This ratio is again 5:8. Right, even if you take 6250 and 10,000, right, if you take out something which is the ratio 2,500 and 4,000, right, this will be 3750 and this will be 6,000. Again, this will be in the ratio 5:8. If you divide by 125 and then again do the same thing, it'll again remain in the ratio 5:8. So irrespective of what this value is, how much you remove, the value will be in the ratio 5:8. It's an arithmetic question. It's a question on ratios. The only way it could be solved, the only scenario it will be solved, if is the original ratio is also 5:8. If the original ratio was not 5:8, then you could have marked cannot be determined. So you need just one level of check before you jump into marking cannot be determined. And that level of check actually helped us out here. Now, for the remaining two questions, I have to calculate the value. So I've calculated these values. Again, it will take you about 1.5 to 2 minutes max to calculate with a calculator, or you can actually do it mentally as well. I've totaled this up also. Another 2 minutes to reach this stage max, right after you've done the first two questions. Okay, let's see what is done, or what is required here. The orders from these 7 cities represented in June represents 70% of the orders on Flopkart for the month of June. So just like in the very first question where you had a scenario about Amazon, about Nile, keep on going to Amazon, actually it's Nile here. Okay, so 70% of the orders on Flopkart, right, for the month of June, right? So this 63,000 represents 70% for the month of June, right? 63,000 is 70% of June. Right, so total June value will be 63,000 divided by 70%. So that will be 90,000. Right, 9 sevens are 63, so you can calculate it straight away. Right. Further, there was a 20% rise in the total orders on Flopkart in June when compared to May. Right. The total number of orders from cities other than the top 7 cities in Flopkart. Okay, so the non-top 7 cities. So these are the top 7 cities, which is 63,000. Total is 90,000, which means the other cities will be 90 minus 63, which is 27,000. Now, what does the second part say? There was a 20% rise in total orders on Flopkart. So if you look at the total for May for Flopkart across India or across all the states where it, or all the places where it services, this is a 20% rise. After rising by 20%, it reaches 90,000, right? So what will be the original value? 20% rise is a 1/5 rise. So 6 by 5 of this X will be 90,000, which means X should be 90 by 6 into 5. That's 15, 5, 75,000. Right, this is 75,000. So what will be the number of orders from other cities besides these 7? Will be 75 minus 61,800. 75 minus 61 is 14. So 13,800. That will be the increase. That will be the increase. 13,200. 13,200. That will be the increase. Now the question is, what is the change in the number of orders from cities other than the top 7 cities? So what is the change here? What will be the percentage change here? Right, 13,200 minus 2,700 will be 13,800 on a base of 13,200. That will be the percentage change. This is more than 100%, so A is out, B is out. Now between 105 and 109. Okay, 10% value. So this represents, this is 138 divided by 132. right, which is 132 plus 6 divided by 132, right? So that is 1 plus 6 by 132. How much is this? 10% value will be 13.2. 5% value will be 6.5 something. So very close to 105%. Option C will be our correct choice. C is the closest. It will definitely not be 109. This is the closest to 105%. And question number 2, which was the last one left over, right? If X is the number of cities where the orders in May on Nile was higher than the orders in May on Flopkart. Okay. So X is where May, Nile is more than Flopkart. Right, while Y is the number of cities where the orders in June on Nile was lower than the orders in June on Flopkart. So Y is for June, right? Nile has to be less than Flopkart. Right, what is the relation between X and Y? So X is equal to Y plus 2, X plus 1 is equal to Y, C is equal to X, X plus Y is equal to 4. Okay, let's calculate this. So let's calculate X. Nile has to be more than Flopkart May. So I have to check this and this. This is 1, no, no, this is 2, this is equal, so not more, yes, yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, X is 4, right? Let's look at Y, right? For Y, June has to be more than Nile, Flipkart has to be more than Nile, so this value has to be more than this value, right? 12,000 is not more than this. 15,000 is more, 7,000 no, 5,000 no, 13,500 is more, so Bangalore is the second one, Hyderabad no, Pune no, so 2. So relation between X and Y, X is equal to Y plus 2, this satisfies, X plus Y is equal to 1 does not, this is not, this is not. So option A will be our correct choice. It's a beautiful question, right? It has, initially you have not a lot of things to do, but each of the question forces you to calculate, especially the fourth one, which was a nice concept of ratios which were involved, right? Your key point was to get over the set, tabulate it as quickly as possible, and then move on to the questions one by one and try to solve them. That completes this session on must-do sets for CAT LRDI preparation. Please do let us know in the comments below how you liked this. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, or you can connect with us on WhatsApp and Telegram groups. The links are all available in the description of this particular video. If you are facing any problem with CAT LRDI sets, you can look at our YouTube channel playlist on how to prepare for CAT LRDI. If you want any specialized, personalized attention on LRDI preparation in the most structured manner, you can also look at our Ultimate LRDI course. This is the most comprehensive course which is available in the market. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.